could Coventry follow Wales and introduce default 20-mile-an-hour speed restrictions? A trial is currently being held in the Earlsdon area by the Labour-run City Council before a decision on whether to bring them in elsewhere. Supporters say cutting speed limits will save lives and reduce pollution. Critics believe blanket zones are unnecessary and make life tough for motorists. So, is 20 plenty? Our Coventry and Warwickshire political reporter Joshua Nevitt has been finding out.
Busy roads in an area where drivers can soon expect a change of pace. This year, Coventry's first livable neighbourhood with a blanket 20-mile-per-hour zone is being piloted in Earlsdon. It's been a long journey for one councillor who's been working on the scheme since 2022. She has a personal experience of losing a family member on the road.
My 11-year-old niece was killed on a zebra crossing, and it was a few days before Christmas many years ago. She was holding her father's hand and my nephew was on the other side, and yes, she was killed where it should have been a safe place, a crossing in a 30-mile-an-hour zone, and it wasn't to be.
I asked Councillor Heverton how this tragedy had shaped her life.
It never leaves you, because you never want anyone to go through what you've gone through, the impact it has on families and dynamic changes and so on. So yes, you're constantly aware of it, the need for safety and prevention.
But does the public support the new 20-mile-per-hour zone?
People have asked for it, and we rarely get people sort of saying, you know, I want you to increase it again. And at first, yes, they can be sort of, we don't need it, but they see the benefits.
In Earlsdon, residents have been calling for speed restrictions on roads like this for years. I'm told multiple cars have careened into this fence, leaving it mangled and disconcerting residents nearby. It's incidents like these that have terrified the community and put pressure on the council to deter speeding. One mum lives near the centre of Earlsdon and says crossing the roads with her 6-year-old son is a constant source of anxiety.
It's very unnerving, and it means you're not enjoying the walk. Really, walking out with a child can be a wonderful thing, but you're constantly vigilant for what might be coming, that noise that's coming towards you. The noise is overwhelming.
20-mile-per-hour zones are becoming more common in the UK, with the Welsh Government introducing a default 20-mile-per-hour speed limit nationwide last year. But not everyone agrees with blanket speed restrictions.
I do think it's an attack on liberties. We should have safe zones, and where we're driving now, we're going to go into Earlsdon Street, which I do believe should be a 20-mile-an-hour limit. But no, I'm not in favour of a blanket 20-mile-an-hour limit.
The Conservative opposition on the council opposed blanket 20-mile-per-hour schemes.
If we do a proper consultation, and instead of looking at it as a blanket way of putting 20 miles an hour, that needs to be done. And guidelines are important to put in place. But in cases where Wales has not proven to be successful.
The council is considering similar 20-mile-per-hour schemes across the city. If the council does go down that road, expect the debate about speeding restrictions to shift up a gear.
That's Joshua Nevitt reporting, and Josh joins us in the studio now. Josh, Wales has already done this blanket 20-mile-an-hour limit. How's it gone down there?
Well, this blanket 20-mile-per-hour speed limit in Wales has been incredibly controversial, with almost 500,000 people signing a petition calling on the Welsh Government to scrap it entirely. But despite this, the Welsh Government has continued the policy, and in preliminary data released last month said that speeds had reduced by 4 miles per hour on average on main roads. So there are some early signs of how this is working in practice.
Yeah, they think it's bringing speed down. The Prime Minister, he's less keen.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say he's not a fan, Rob. In an interview last year, the Prime Minister branded the default 20-mile-per-hour speed limit in Wales as an attack on motorists, and said that he felt that it wasn't in tune with the values of British people. He's also suggested that he could prevent councils from implementing what he called blanket inappropriate 20-mile-per-hour zones. What that actually amounted to was a promise to update the guidance on setting up 20-mile-per-hour zones. So I got in touch with the Department for Transport this week, and they said that the government is planning to update that guidance in due course. So I think we can say for now that the issue seems to have been parked.
parked. Very good. Josh, we're going to park you for just a second, but hang on there, we'll come back. Zara, this is happening in your constituency, quite a wide area, being all 20 mile an hour. Is that a good idea?
This is popular in Earlsdon. It's believed that this will create a safer area, as well as making the air cleaner. And research shows that when you have 20 miles an hour compared to 30 miles an hour, people are 8 times less likely to die. So this policy will save lives. And of course, it's about consultation, it's about working with local communities. And I believe that there will be positive results that come out of this, and we can look at expanding that if that's what local communities want in Coventry South.
Why is the government so against this? And what does the Prime Minister, when he says it's against British values, what does he mean, Eddie?
Well, I think my perspective is more as a civil engineer. I mean, I studied road design. There are other ways of mitigating the effects of road traffic and limiting road traffic accidents. But 20 mile an hour definitely has a place, for example, around schools. I think that's a good idea. But a blanket imposition of it across a wide area is completely unnecessary, because road traffic accident stats wouldn't substantiate that on lots of those roads. So all you're doing in those areas is slowing traffic down unnecessarily, causing problems for drivers and for businesses, and sometimes even encouraging people not to visit those areas because they'd rather not be slowed down to 20 miles an hour. You don't want that impact on business. So the civil engineer in me says, actually, it's appropriate in some areas, but not on a blanket basis.
What about British values, though? It's against British values, is what the Prime Minister said.
Well, I think part of the problem we have is we seem to be constantly attacking car drivers, whereas actually we should be taking a more pragmatic approach. We're a nation of car drivers. I appreciate Zara doesn't have a driver's licence, but you know, most of us then, or many of us, are car drivers, and we should be making sure there's an opportunity.
You've been in charge for 14 years. Why have you been attacking them?
Well, I don't think we have.
And you just said we're attacking car drivers.
No, in this instance,
okay,
with the imposition and in Wales. So I think we should take a pragmatic approach, a civil engineering-based approach, which is only apply it where it's appropriate and necessary.
OK. Josh, people have been telling us what they think about this scheme.
Yeah, that's right. Some people have been getting in touch with us on social media to have a say. One of them was Rob Halligan from Coventry, who says that there's a 20 mile per hour zone near where he lives, but not many drivers stick to it, he says. In contrast, John Grant thinks it's a good idea and hopes it'll make a more pleasant, quiet and safer environment. But Maisie is one of a number of people suggesting this wouldn't cut pollution because emissions are higher when driving in a lower gear. And David Faulkner, safe to say he's firmly opposed to it. He's called it another stupid idea to cause congestion and thinks it's all about Coventry City Council punishing motorists.
OK.